Jonathan Lee Riches, aka JLR. Where is Summer Wells? I want you guys to listen to this recording. Don Wells said out of his own mouth that he wants to get his boys and move back to Utah. He said he wants to move back to Utah. Check this out.
Are you trying to move? Are you gonna move? Are you gonna move?
I want to go back to Utah, and I want to go back
to work?
Jackson Hole, Wyoming, where the big money is.
It's very expensive, yeah.
Kids. I gotta fight for my kids right here.
Yeah, you gotta fight to get your kids back.
So Don, he wants to move to Utah. Wants to get his kids back and move to Utah. Said he money in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. I have a big problem with that. Big problem with that. We all know that the three boys of Don and Candace were taken away by Tennessee Department of Children's Families. They took the three boys away. If those boys ever went back into the hands of Don and Candace, Don and or Candace or Don could take those children to Utah. At that point, Tennessee would lose jurisdiction over those boys. They can essentially move away from their problems that they have in Tennessee. And now Tennessee Department of Children and Family Services, they now don't have jurisdiction over those boys. Those boys would then have to go through a whole new process in Utah or Jackson Hole, Wyoming, like Don Wells claims. I have a big problem with that because that's similar to what happened to Candace in Wisconsin when she had her children taken away in Wisconsin. Then she moved to another state. And the new state, which is Tennessee, probably wasn't aware of the problems that Candace had with her own children in Wisconsin. And then it took a whole process to eventually get those children taken away. The three boys after Summer Wells went missing. Could have been prevented. I don't believe any children are safe in the hands of Don and Candace. But Don Wells is a career criminal. And Candace Wells had 20 years of being arrested. I consider her a career criminal too. And Don Wells, I'm going to play a recording. Don Wells claims both of them know the law and have been in trouble with the law for a long, long time, and they know the system. Could they manipulate and play the Tennessee CPS, Department of Children's Family Services, to get those boys back in their hand, and then as soon as they get them back, immediately leave the state and move out of state? Because at that point, Tennessee has no jurisdiction over those boys. And then who knows what would happen to those boys in the state of Utah. And who knows if Utah's own agency, their own Department of Children Families or CPS or whatever agency you want to call them, would do a thorough job looking into those boys. I believe those boys are doomed if they go back into the hands of Don. Is Don planning to get the boys back and take them over interstate lines? It's sad. It's a whole sad situation. Summer Wells is missing. This whole tragedy could have been prevented. It really could have been prevented. And we don't want anything bad to happen to those boys. We don't want to hear something bad. Every child that Candace Wells has had has been taken away from her. Every child she's had has been taken away from her, and one is missing and presumably dead. Summer. Don't want to read in the paper and the news on social media down the line, 10 years from the, not 10 years, but 5 years down the line, that something happened to one of those boys because they were back into the custody of Don or Candace. Sad situation. I hope Tennessee Department of Children and Family Services do everything possible to terminate the parental rights of Don and Candace. They do not deserve to have those boys. They do not. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Comment. Subscribe to my channel. Paying attention to this case. Going through old tapes. What Don Wells told us in conversations. Don Wells spoke to us. I have hours of tapes of Don Wells. And I will be releasing snippets and different things that he said. I've been going through them and analyzing them and comparing the tapes that we have of Don Wells to other conversations that Don Wells had with other people to catch discrepancies and catch things that don't make sense. And a lot of it doesn't make sense. A lot of it doesn't make sense. Now, I believe when we spoke to Don Wells, he was under the influence many, many times. He seemed drunk, stuttering with his words. And that's a problem too, having the boys go back to Don and Candace when they obviously have a history of drugs and alcohol problem. It's no good. No child is safe with Don and Candace Wells. So, fighting for the children. I've been sending the agencies out there in Tennessee numerous inquiries about Don and Candace and just bringing it to their attention about their behaviors and stuff like that. Hopefully they've been hearing from us, the people, gathering their own evidence, and they will proceed down the line, terminate the parental rights of them, and then put the 3 boys in decent homes, loving homes. Since it's a high profile case, I suspect that the children will go into really loving homes and be able to, live a safe, clean, productive life. We've heard from former friends of Ken and Don that said that the children wouldn't be bathed properly when they get hurt, like they fell off the motorbikes. Candace and Don would not take them to get medical treatment. I don't believe the children even had medical insurance, in that house. So hopefully the boys will get into a better home. They can get the proper medical care, proper education, grow up to be children, safe and productive. Nothing would make me, I would love to see that the Wells boys, have a great life, get some good education, get under a good family structured environment, and be productive people. It'd be great to see the Wells boys go into the military or go into a college, right? And be doctors and scientists and lawyers, attorneys, be something productive and do great. And that's a possibility if they're not in the hands of Don and Candace Wells, because I truly believe that those boys go back to Don and Candace Wells, they are doomed. They're doomed. Let's be real. They're doomed. They are doomed. So subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button. Caring for the children, following the Summer Wells case. If you have any credible information about the whereabouts of Summer Wells, contact TBI, Tennessee Borough Investigation, 1-800-TBI-FINE. Contact Hawkins County Sheriff's Office. God bless. Hopefully Summer is found soon. Stay safe, everyone.